Hello guys, so today I will teach the topic on very nice topic, data storytelling, which is very effective in today's data field. So before starting the topic, firstly we know about what is a data story and what is a data storytelling. So firstly we know about like what is a data. Data is basically sequence of information in which we have get the information. So firstly we have studied that what is a data storytelling. So data storytelling is basically a structured approach for communicating like data and insight using the narrative elements and the explanatory visual. And it's not enough to just analyze data. You just need to know how to communicate the story. It's tell in a clear, compelling manner. And basically, this skills is called data storytelling. And next we have why do you need to study and read the data storytelling skills? Because nowadays applicants uh, have have gained so much and give their time in learning the tools, basically like Python, Excel, SQL, whichever required in the data field. But they neglect the very important skills like data storytelling, which is used in every domain in data. Because if you have learned the data storytelling skills, so generally you give the data story insights about their projects, models. So basically, data storytelling is basically a very good skills to require and analyze the uh, current scenario. And many company have begun including data storytelling as a required skills in their portfolio or in their job descriptions. And while others have opted to hire basically data storyteller one profile is basically for the data storyteller who have a position to supplement their existing analysis teams ability, like which have possess the skills to base or analyze and visualize the data and give the insights about the data to the required clients. So basically, currently, data storytelling is also is a emerging field which you have everyone must learn. So basically, by the data storytelling, we have find the insights in which like ability to take data and to be able to understand and its true processes, like in its exact value from its and to visualize the communicate it's that going to be very huge important skills in the next decade. By the Google chief economist also says this line to the topic of data storytelling. So we can't neglect this important topic. So basically, data storytelling is find to insights about the data. And in this slide, we have put the various statement by the like yes. So basically, difference between the observation versus insight, and uh, uh, generally we have took the both statement as the same, like we as observe or insights. But in observe and insight are both different thing in data field. Because observation like some product at sale like basically and there is increasement by sale, like sale increased by 2000% basically. So some observe that like sales increased by 2000%. But in other case, if we have we think like a insights domain, so we have the think that customer are buying more of our product due to their uh, announced by our main competitor. So basically, these are the insights which have gained, and by these insights, we have leverage the more opportunity in the upcoming time. So basically, observation and insights are both different things in the data field, and that's why it's an emerging market. Like from going to observation to action, like observation just observe the things basically, and next steps is basically curiosity to learn more about the things which have you learned, and next step is basically insights, After observe the data and you find the data, you have to give the insights about the data, and next steps and its main step basically you implement to action, and basically action take action. And is a one famous line by the idea global design director, like insights move you from knowing something to do wanted to do something and create inertia basically to move further in domain. So that's why data storytelling is very important. And the next step is basically the analytics sparks to value. Firstly, there they have get the data. Next, they have get information, insight, decision, action, value. So all are part in the data field, and then analytics will part to value. And next is basically bigger insights require communication. So bigger hurdle in data storytelling is basically poor communications, and they have no budget and no approval and not crunch of resources and no coordination between the teams. So that's the bigger hurdle in the data storytelling or data communication skills. So basically, to deal with this problem, we have four key communication objectives in data storytelling. Basically, first we have get the insight. So there next steps over is like to go to act on the given data or insights data, remember and understand the more about data and what to do and what is the big hurdle in this domain, understand and give the attention to the main clients and their work. So that's why it's a four key communication objective. So basically, every insights or data invites the changes, basically, but very few can handle it to change without good communications. And data storytelling can be used internally, for instance, to communicate the need of the product improvement, and for instance, to create a compelling case for buying your product to like basically potential customer. So basically, psychological power of data storytelling is basically like human have told stories regarding the data to communicate with others. But their while storytelling methods have come a long way since the days of cave painting, is this psychological powers. So basically, it's hold the psychological power of data storytelling, and its effect on the brain also. So that's why data storytelling is very important skills. And rather than presenting your teams with a spreadsheet, you can give the insights about their data, like basically you can you can evoke a emotional storytelling to get the clients more interesting. So basically both are the like two different things like logic and the emotions by merging the data with the story. So basically, three elements of the data storytelling. Basically, first of all is like narrative, how we have set the narrative in the data storytelling, and second, basically visualize the data in like by tools like Power BI, Tableau, and third is like data in which format data is available like SQL, NoSQL, in other given format. So basically, first leg is basically explain narrative. So basically, narrative is basically like a verbal or written narrative. Also, like is basically it's like storytelling, and it's used to communicate insights, basically to glean from data and the context surrounding it. And after this action required, and you recommend to the inspire to your audience, and basically you recommended. And next our component of data storytelling is basically data visual. So through analysis of accurate and complete data serve as a foundation of the your data story. So analyzing data using descriptive statistics or dynamic statistics or predictive is or different. So you can analyze and enable and understand its bigger picture by data visual, because when we see the data in numeric form or graphical form, So it's very easy for the user to learn more about the pattern or insights about data. And basically influence to change with the data story. Basically like by visual representation or influence changes with the story, and it's communicate the story clearly and memorable. And this can be a charts, basically graph, diagram, etc. So basically like the diagram data storytelling can be used in lots of domain. So what is that like the storyline basically? So it uses the same narrative elements, can be like any story you have read or heard before, character setting, conflict, and other topic like. So to help illustrate this, you have used the like character types of storytelling and settings and conflict types of which have you face issue in root issues. And next steps like basically resolution. So basically like next steps is basically like data storytelling arc. They have deal with the setting and hooks background on their current situations, which have characteristics and hook and rising insights. Because if you have supporting the detail with the insights, like it give the insight into the problem or opportunity, you have like aha moment and major finding or central insights. And next is this like arc in basically solution. So firstly we start with the one first like setting and hook, and setting is second is basically rising insights, and third is basically major finding or central insights. So fourth and next is like basically solution and is action steps for potential option and recommendation. So that's the whole picture about the data storytelling, and we must learn all four the steps. And basically after four, this like audience knowledge to enrich and likely to act is increased. Data storytelling arc in action. Basically we have discussed the topic in this slide, but I also discuss more in this slide also, like setting and hooks. Basically what is the status quo and what's influenced or contribute to this change, and rising insights, basically what's other supporting or evidence is needed. And next is basically aha moment, and basically what's impact, basically that's the moment of ah. And next is basically solution and task action, like basically what are the options given and what is the back source of the action. So anticipate your audience comparison needs, basically that's are the diagram tool to know about more about the like audience comparison. So basically five steps of storytelling. So basically first of all identify the right data, because if you take the data like unstructured or semi-structured manner, so it's very difficult for user to handle the so fussy data. So that's why I identify the right data and deal with the right data. And next steps is basically like choose the right visualization, like basically in which manner you have visualized the graph. So and visualize the data. So that's why like it's always compulsory to gain like to choose the main visualized manner and calibrate visual to your message. And first of all, and fourth step basically like remove unnecessary noise and unnecessary diagrams in their storytelling, and like focus attention on what's importance. So and use a content setting to reveal insights, basically that's also is important to gain more picture about the data storytelling, and use the animation to break the content into the manageable portion. And always remember that applying analytical technique to manage a problem require both art and science. And data storytelling can help turn data insight into the action. So without effective communication, insight cannot be unnoticed or unremembered by your audience. So that's why it's a hard and the soft skills are crucial for leveraging the data to the fullest potential to their clients. So So it's a famous line by the Stephen Few on the data storytelling. Like basically, company needs more data storyteller because number have important story to tell. They rely on you to give them clear and the convincing voice. Because if you know the bigger picture and the data about their company performance, so you take a action on time. So that's why Stephen sir basically says that like company needs more data storyteller because if there is a conflict in your data story and in your stance if the data showed up your current marketing campaign basically which you have deal with the like traffic and exceeding your goals so you can escape the element that again is so straight to recommending team that the like current course of action to be maintained so that's why company need the like uh, social types of like CSR like corporate social responsibility that type of skills we have data storyteller also have so because they have shown the right signal and red flag to their complete deteriorate conditions. And data storyteller also use the four types of elements also in basically there. Like first of all, like character and settings and conflict basically. And last is resolution, which I already talked. And next is basically thank you. Thank you all of you guys for making me harmful and harmful presence in your this wonderful workshop.